Disney has been desperate to market the upcoming Snow White live action adaptation, thinking that they can make some kind of money off of it, but I don't think that's going to happen. And now we've gotten the first official trailer, and it is being raked across the coals. I have a few different things to show off, but before I get into the topic, if you enjoy the content I create, check out the links in the description, join the community in my live stream, and consider supporting through Patreon or YouTube memberships. Now, there has been years of drama surrounding this film, from the casting to some of the decisions they were making with characters like the Dwarves. It just seemed like they were stripping away anything that made Snow White unique, and they were trying to turn it into some generic fairy tale film that had a modern message, right? Because they weren't going to be focusing on the romance anymore, because Rachel Zegler thought the prince was a creep in the original. We know Gal Gadot is the evil queen who's supposed to be jealous of the way Snow White looks, which definitely is not happening here. But now that we finally got the full trailer, it is being roasted by people. Now, I am not going to watch the full thing, but I thought this was a very interesting take for them, an interesting direction for them to go in, because it definitely does not look like the other live action adaptations. It seems that they're almost trying to go in a bit of a darker direction throughout the whole film, because even scenes like this, they just feel kind of creepy. Maybe that's because it's almost all CGI, right? And everything has an element of it that looks fake. Like, even those trees look fake, the grass looks weird. Maybe that's the issue that I and a lot of other people are having, but it just does not seem like it is representative of the original. Yeah, of course, you've got the evil queen, you've got those darker elements like the apple, things like that. But the whole entire movie just seems so fake and a little bit darker. But then you get into the casting decisions, and that's really the major issue for me that this trailer highlights, that has been highlighted in the past, because the evil queen is supposed to be jealous of Snow White. Snow White is the fairest of them all, and the evil queen wants to get rid of her, so she actually ends up being the fairest of them all. And I'm sorry, Gal is way prettier than Rachel. And I'm not saying that Rachel is like the ugliest actress ever. She just doesn't fit the part of Snow White, and they have her in here singing. You get a taste of her voice. You actually get to hear a little snippet, and she does not sound like Snow White. Snow White had a very high-pitched voice, almost annoying at times when she was singing, because it was so high-pitched and it was kind of squeaky and very feminine. And that's not the case here. Rachel Zegler could not change her tone for this movie, and just none of it, in my opinion, really seems to be coming together. And then you also have the Dwarves, because we've heard that they were redesigning the Dwarves yet again, and they did. This is the third time that they've changed their design. At first, we saw basically the 7 homeless bandits that were just normal people walking around, awful outfits. Then we saw the image of her sitting in this room with all the dwarves around her, but the dwarves were as tall as her, which is very creepy. And now they've shrunk them. It looks like redesigned them. This, for me, is never going to be okay, because the only reason why we're getting these full-blown CGI dwarves is because of Peter Dinklage. I think that he's a great actor, don't get me wrong, but he cost so many people jobs because he said that it was offensive. And then, of course, Disney decided to bend the knee and not cast individuals who fit these descriptions, right? These smaller individuals, these dwarfs, to play the dwarves in this movie. They decided that they were not going to go ahead with that casting, and that they were just going to digitally alter normal heighted people. And that, in my opinion, was such a bad decision. Everything surrounding this movie, in my opinion, has been a bad decision. And now that we've got this trailer, it's not going good for them. So it is number 2 on trending with 2 million views. It's got 38,000 likes, but it's sitting at 89,000 dislikes. And hilariously, in only a half hour, I just refreshed the dislikes, it's sitting at 98,000 dislikes, so it's right under that 100K mark. There's over 8,000 comments of people saying there's absolutely no way that this movie is going to be a success for you guys. I don't think, judging based on what we've seen and also what's been said, that this movie's going to be successful. I mean, Rachel Zegler said the prince was a creep, he was weird. She said that they weren't going to be focusing so much on the romance anymore, that Snow White was going to be independent, doing things to save her kingdom, focusing on herself. These are just not things that I think of when I imagine Snow White, and boy, oh boy, have they proved our suspicions right that this is going to be a dumpster fire. There's tons of people saying things like, "Evil queen, who's the fairest of them all? The mirror, you my queen, the end." There's no reason for the evil queen to be jealous of Snow White. Am I the only one who thinks this Snow White costume looks like something improvised for a school play than something from a Disney movie? This is an issue I've had with basically all of the live action adaptations, because I grew up watching a lot of these princess movies. I've really loved them, and there are some of the dresses that are really good. I think Cinderella's was actually really great, but she is the only one. The other ones, like Aurora, and you have Belle, of course. We had The Little Mermaid, where they basically got rid of her beautiful shimmering blue dress at the end. They're just not Disney princess looks. They look like, yeah, I mean, modern slop, reimaginings of those original costumes, and that's just not how you're going to get people into theaters to watch these films. And boy, oh boy, have they not listened to us for years, and it's clear that they're still not listening to us. They're going to lose money on this. The rumor is that the budget has ballooned to over $300 million, meaning they need to make, double and then some. So they're probably hoping for this to make like 700 million plus, and I do not see a way that that's going to happen. They've made some of these adaptations that have made money, but I don't think this is going to be one because there's been so much controversy surrounding it. Bambi's cameo, this is the real multiverse. Mirror, mirror on the wall, who's the fairest of them all? Mirror, gal, my queen. I'm just going to predict right now, bro, I don't think she should eat that apple. Some of these responses are pretty funny, but a lot of them are very negative. And if you start scrolling down, you can't really find anybody who's saying this is going to be absolutely amazing. And hey, if you think this trailer looks awesome, if you're super excited for this movie, I'm glad for you. I hope that you watch it. I hope you enjoy it, because I want content to be enjoyed by people, but at the same time, this to me does not look or feel like Snow White, and it's clear that I'm not alone, as there's over 100,000 people who have already taken to the trailer to give it a dislike, and tons of people roasting it on social media. But that's all that I had to discuss in this video. Let everyone know your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this, give it a like, and if you didn't, give it a dislike. I appreciate your support either way, but I'll talk to you all again in the next video really soon.